We're coming to you live today from the Sonoran Desert. Actually, this is the second attempt to present the illustrations of the Waterboard Manual. But in the first one, this light, I'd misused it. It obscured the pictures, and so I got feedback from people who said, please don't use the lights. So I'm not going to use the lights, but that means that you may not be able to see what I'm going to show you. And to help that, I put a bug light up here. That's the blue thing. And if while we're talking you hear any untoward zapping, you'll know that it's not me. It's the bug light doing what the bug lights do. Okay. So these are the illustrations, or some of them. There's a great pile of the material that came from the Waterboard Manual. And because I already went through them and threw them on the floor as I went, they're all messed up. But this is one of the first ones that we began with. And it's a close-up of some of the nodules that are raised during the waterboard process, which is not our purpose here exactly to define, but some cursory knowledge would be helpful. So, this is a fuller version of that, or a reduced one, where you can see the Waterboard E on the table. Here's another like that. There's a lot of these. I guess that's just like the first one. Here's another one. I like this one. This could be the cover of a book. These were just some things that were done along the way. I don't know why. Here's another take. I don't know how to explain this to you, so probably would best not. And then this seems to be a close-up of that one. Now here's another one, because, not to get ahead, the Pilgrims Progress came out right before the Waterboard Manual, and that was one of its title pages. And there's another one. And I think that was the back page. It says something here that I can't read. Yeah. Something about the pamphlet being distributed, a street vendor's pamphlet distributed outside the White House. Better not say anything about that, because after all it's in a book and you can get the book, so hey. And here's another back page with the biography of the author at the bottom here, and here, a description of it, which I think probably suits both the Pilgrims Progress and the Waterboard Manual. I think that they must go together. I think that we've seen that over the course of time. An enlightenment of adventure and lessons learned in the fiction of literary science. Okay. The progress of the soul through temptations and risk, once only personal and psychological, but now confronted by every sort of supernatural influence of sound and oh, give me a break. We can't have that stuff. This was the original title page of the Waterboard Manual. The one that you saw before was a little bit skewed. this was the back page. This was implicated. There are a lot of turkeys up here, and I think that was probably the reason why this picture was chosen. Turkeys in a snowstorm very much feels like what we're talking about. Back to then the inductee on the waterboard himself. We should say that the Pilgrims Progress was written by a guy who wrote it in jail. I mean, he wrote 12 years of it in jail. In our time, people don't go to jail, they go to court. And I think that would be the point of this other, this is the third volume. It's called The Ubu Attorney General and Other Follies. And Ubu is a very important figure in the waterboard movement. Not to overdo it. So, and then this was another volume. Here it's called Tales of Susan. Other times it's called other things. It's been called a lot of things. And whenever it gets out, it's going to get called even more things. It'll be called so many things nobody will know what it is, and that's why it hasn't come out. But I have good news, it's in the hands of about 10 publishers now. So you have that one, which is a thing called the Tales of Susan, and then you have the Ubu Attorney General, and then you have Pilgrim's Progress, and then you have Waterboard Manual. So these are just some of the offshoot illustrations contemplated in the development of the whole. And then, as displayed in one of the earlier videos, this was the first bound edition of the Waterboard Manual. So perhaps you would ask me to read from it, and so, in all truth, this one was bound too. And I tried to read from it before, and I couldn't, because it's just ridiculous. So, if ever it gets published, you'll have to find it for yourself. But this one, I mean the Waterboard Manual, it may have some meaning. So let's open, just boom. It's all about Japan. Or boom. It's something about a spiritual outlaw dinner. Or boom. It's a bad news reincarnation story. Boom. Maybe we shouldn't have the light on so we can't see it. Something here about a mouse or scientist. Call to the plumber. That's something that people can identify with. I know people who borrow blow bags because their plumber can't get his snake through the line and doesn't have his blow bag with him, and they have to borrow my blow bag. It's not to say I don't have other interesting accoutrements that might be borrowable at the right time in the right emergency. So much for the plumber, though. Here is a statement. If anything sums up any of what I'm talking about, it's this: allegory unthinkable. Allegory unthinkable. So, This is what I did with the other one. I flipped it around, shot it up here, push it over here, put it over there. And that's just my way of saying, that's all, folks.